Yo, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video. Today we are doing more underrated decks. If you didn't see the last one, go check it out. This is episode 8, I believe, and today's deck is going to be the Dark type deck. So let's get right into it. This deck is simple, and I will not lie, this is one of my weaker decks, but personally I find it the most fun. This deck includes 3 main Pokemon, 1 Arbok, 1 Crobat, and an Arceus or Arceus EX to pair up with that Crobat. If you haven't used this Crobat before, it is a 3rd evolution, so a little bit tough to get to that point, but it only needs 1 energy to do 50 damage, so you're not too much at risk for a Team Rocket Grunt. It also has its ability that when Arceus EX is in play, Crobat can do an extra 30 damage to the opponent's active Pokemon. This 30 damage is void to Rocky Helmets, so you will not get touched by that, but paired up with your Darkness Fang, you can also do 50 damage. The key feature here is that this ability also works in the backfield, which then lets us have our Arbok up top. Now, Arbok has the ability Corner, the same as Houndoom, which hits for 60 damage, but it also means the defending Pokemon cannot retreat. Now, I can't tell you how many times I have played an opponent who was able to win the game simply by moving their active Pokemon away from my attacks. So forcing our opponent to keep their active Pokemon right there and in the crossfire will hopefully get you a couple more points and a couple more wins that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Now, I've talked about some of the pros to this deck. Let me talk about some of the cons. The biggest one being that Arbok and Crobat are not that strong. They don't have very high hitting attacks. They don't have much HP either. Maximum is 110 for Crobat. Maximum is 100 for Arbok, plus 20 to both of those with a giant cape. But it is so much fun when everything is set up and moving smoothly. For example, with your Arbok up top and your Crobat set up in the backfield with an Arceus in play, you're able to do that 30 damage with Crobat and then also hit them with the Arbok for a total of 90 and also forcing them to stay where they are. If you do the math there, that is 2 turns for 180 damage with an active Pokemon that can't retreat in between that. Now, as always, please do your own testing with the items and supporter cards. There are good cards, there are okay cards, and there are cards that just work for you. Me personally, I used 2 potions and 2 Pokeballs along with 2 Pokemon communications, 1 giant cape and 1 Rocky Helmet, 2 Professor's Research and a single Sabrina, 1 Pokemon Center Lady, 1 Team Rocket Grunt, and a single red. Now, I personally would grab a couple extra healing cards because as much as this deck is fun, it is very, very weak, and you should expect to need to heal your Pokemon several times. But without further ado, let's go see it in battle. Alright, and we have found our battle here. I'm just going to be commentating again. This is a battle I recorded earlier, and we are starting off going first, so we're going to get our cards a little bit sooner, but we do not have first energy. We are facing a grass deck, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was a Carnivine deck, which is actually pretty OP at the minute. Yeah, Carnivine and Meowscarada was the deck here, and we start off with our Zubat instead of our Ekans. We do get the Ekans early on, so we were able to put him in, as well as draw a couple cards, and we got that Arbok off of the Professor's Research, so I knew exactly what my play was going forward. So we put a Rocky Helmet on our Zubat to try and take a little bit of damage on that Carnivine. Now, with that Carnivine, if he has Arceus in play, he can hit for 50 HP, which would have knocked out our Zubat right away, and thankfully I was able to pull my Arceus before he could, but I also knew that this Zubat was kind of on his last limbs. So we were able to get a Pokemon communication. I thought about using it for the Arbok for a little bit, but I decided to do instead was just attack with Zubat and just see how far I could push this Carnivine. And as you can see, I'm debating whether or not I should potion here. I decided to go for it on the off chance he doesn't have his Arceus yet. I went for the potion just to ensure that my Zubat would survive a couple more turns, and I evolved to the Arbok as early as I possibly could. So this Carnivine is down to 40 HP. We currently have a Rocky Helmet, so if it hits us one more time, it is going down to 20 HP, and it seems that he doesn't have any healing cards yet. And we have our Crobat, but we do not have our Golbat yet, so I took the Pokemon communication because with the math of what cards we had left, we knew we still had a Golbat in there. We know we have some extra health, and I definitely wanted to potion here because now, even if he gets his Arceus, we are out of range of a one-hit KO from that Carnivine. We go for the Wing Attack with a simple KO, and as you saw, we put that energy onto our Arbok to get him up and running. First point goes to us pretty early on there. He is getting very unlucky not to get that Arceus. And right here, he ends up getting the Arceus on that Professor's Research, so we got very lucky getting that early KO. But now this Carnivine is going to hit for 50, which takes us down to 20 HP, but our Rocky Helmet also knocks him down to 60, and so quick math tells us here that we can simply get our Golbat out of there and get our Arbok in to attack for 60. We also decided to heal up our Golbat a little bit in the event that Crobat needs to come in to play. 2 Carnivines down. This Arceus is now kind of null and void for the time being because he still needs 2 more energy to attack. He brings out the Sprigatito, kind of telling me that this was a Carnivine Meowscarada attempt, which again is a very powerful deck right now. The great thing about this deck though is that we don't have any EX Pokemon that are going to be actively attacking. That Arceus should be in the backfield for most of the game, so Meowscarada's ability doesn't really affect us. We end up going for an Arbok corner here and a red as well to get that extra little bit of damage, because now that Arceus is within 1-hit range for us. He goes for the Pokemon Center Lady to take it out of range, but if we're able to get that Crobat, we should be able to take it right back down to 60 HP. Goes for the 90 hit though, which takes us down to 10 HP, so we need a Crobat here no matter what. We end up with a Team Rocket Grunt instead, and we got very, very lucky here. Heads, another heads, and 2 energy taken off that Arceus means he cannot attack for a little while longer. So we end up going for another 60 hit. So even with another Pokemon Center Lady, this Arceus can't attack, and he decides to concede. Arbok really carried us through that victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. So with that, let me know how you guys enjoy this deck if you try it out. Let me know down in the comments what you guys use for item cards, supporter cards, all that kind of stuff. And let me know what is your favorite card to use right now. If you say Darkrai or Giratina at all in the comments, I am going to ban you. I know it's YouTube, but I'll find a way. That being said, guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.